Alright, guys. Um, I'm actually recording another video. Look how quick I am. I'm on my shit. Um, this episode is going to be a little, I'm not going to say political, but it is going to be political. But it's not about any presidents. It's not about, it's just about like anger and what we should do because I just want to point out something because I'm not telling you not to vote. But all I'm saying is a lot of the people that push voting and saying, people died for us to vote. I don't believe that. They died for us to be free, and we still need to be fighting to be free. When has a poor class ever voted themselves out of slavery? Because you got to understand, capitalism needs a slave labor, class to work upon. I know there's a lot of arguments between socialism and capitalism, but it's like everybody knows it's a fact, the top 1% and the 99%. What do we think that 1% is participating in? Are they participating in capitalism, or are they participating in socialism because they control everything and they're sharing everything? I wonder what that's called. Isn't that called socialism? When a group of people share something and then they make a profit off of it and they all benefit. I think that's called socialism, but they are profiting off of the slave wage class. So, and technically it is capitalism, but they're like, yo, all right, now we have it all. We're sharing it together. So now that's socialism. But we're just mind blown to see it. And we think hope and like the change, is going to do something. No, all hope is something to postpone anger. So nothing ever happens. There could be, look at Hong Kong right now. They're rioting in the streets because they know hope and change isn't going to help them. They know that. I don't understand why only our country thinks that you have to vote. You have to go out in the streets and you have to make an impact. You have to do something. You can't. Twitter and social media isn't a voice. Think about how many times an article comes out, and then the next, it's like something outlandish. It's like, I remember it was like, boy could face jail time for dodgeball game, and the next day it's like, oh, never mind, he's completely fine. Yeah, no shit. You know what that's doing? Is to get you outraged and make you think your voice matters. And no, it does not. Your voices doesn't matter. The reason why I get so mad with the whole voting and people pushing the voting thing is because you're basically saying, hey, the game is corrupt, but we have to participate in it because there's no other way. No, there is another way. Get out in the fucking streets. Let's go do something. But no, people just want to be safe and comfortable. At the end of the day, everybody just wants to be safe and in their own home and comfortable. No one is afraid to shake the system, and I can't blame them. I say, if you're afraid, get out the way. People who are not afraid need to stand up. But just think about what I'm saying about you're telling us to participate in a system. So, for example, you got the Latina community, you got the black community, you got the white community. We're like, hey, let's put our people in power with our money and vote them in. Okay, so what you just said is, let's use your money to buy a candidate who will make change for your area. That's such a smart idea. That's the smartest idea I've heard. I love that idea. Now let's take the top 1% and let's let them get a candidate and let's let them put their money into it. Who's winning? Let's take a moment. Who's winning if the top 1% pick a candidate and the 99% of people pick a candidate? I wonder. The top 1% is a no fucking brainer. So what you're saying is to participate in something that you're not going to win. So why do people think that if they vote a candidate in, it's going to know? Somebody who's going to get bought out with more money, that we can't compete against people who have wealth that's unimaginable. Wealth that we will never see. We have to be realistic here. And I know I hope people understand what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying, yes, I'm not saying that all political people are bad. I do think you have to be a nuts to want to be president. I do. But there's no way we're going to make real see change unless we go out and take what we want. And I just don't know if anybody's ever going to really get around, around that. And I don't think people understand that it's not black, white, Mexican. It's not a race issue. It's a human issue. And I think a lot of people don't understand that we're all in this together. We share one planet. Just one planet. And we can choose whether we want us to succeed or whether or not. And I think another thing about I just hate hope. And I know that sounds so weird, like to say, like, how can somebody hate hope? But it just really quells your anger and your rage. Like, you're like, you know what? I should be mad right now, but you know what? I'm hoping it will be better. What if the better doesn't come? What if it doesn't? We got to think about it. George Bush, he left the the house on fire. Obama comes in. He tries to do whatever he can. He didn't do anything. And then who do we got now? We got Trump. And we don't even know what he's doing. Because the press is only covering the negative. So we have no idea what's really even being done. There could be a completely another agenda going on that when the next president comes in, he has to fix. Or he has to continue to do. I just need you guys to really process what I'm saying about this political system. I'm just saying that there's no way we can compete. No. First of all, there hasn't even been a voting system for a slave class to work their way out of the slave class. I don't know when a slave class really could get out of where they were. So even if you were to try to get into that, you're going to be shunned out. I think if you understand what I'm saying, is that even if you acquire money, even if you have enough money to buy yourself out, the new money, old money, they're going to look at you different because you're new money. They know. So they're not going to allow you to they're not going to open doors for you because you're not a part of the 1%. That's a group. That's a group of people. They're in socialism. They're like, hey, we have all these resources. These are ours. So if I were to walk up there and they're like, yo, got all this money, like, what'd it do? They're going to be like, yo, get this M-word out of here, bro. What does he think he's doing? How do you even get in here? I know we got security. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We are such a hopeful I want to say we're not. Yeah, we're hopeful. We're hopeful, but I think that hope is bad. I think we just think that it's black and white. And I would like to think things are black and white, but they're not. There are colors. And we have to pick the color we want to attack. We can't just focus on every issue. It's not possible. We have to attack one thing at a time. And if we all attack something together, we could boom, 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 boom. It'd be like a domino effect. One might fix the other. A lot of these things are, in tandem, But that was my political topic. I hope you stayed put with that. We're going to switch gears to, I think, a lot of our mindset is coming from, we've seen the first generation of like the 40-hour work week. Think about it. Like, we've seen the effects of it. And think about this. Growing up, you're like, wow, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be struggling and miserable all the time like my parents. So now we've seen the effects of what a 40-hour work week does. We're the first generation, I would say, to really see the effects, because the last generation was the silent generation, so they didn't really even talk about it or whatever. So we're seeing it and we're like, yo, that's not for us. So we're kind of struggling to figure out what to do. So we have a defeatist mentality, which is like everything. Everybody has a defeatist mentality. They already give up. They give up before they even people give up before they even find out if they're good at something. People will just be like, that's hard, so I do not want to do it. But what if it's easy? A lot of things are skills. Your brain doesn't know anything until you push it to the limit. You know what I mean? Like, okay, math. You're terrible at math, but that's a skill. Nobody's just good at math. You have to learn math and be good at it, and then you'll, be exceeding. So I just think that our generation is so quick to give up and rely on something else. That's why these corporations which I talked about in my last video, are just excelling right now, because they're just capitalizing on your mentality, how you've given up. So everything is about how they don't give up. Look how like depression and everything is just pushing in the I would say, what is that, mainstream news nowadays. Like, it's almost like, look at all these Twitter companies, the Twitter social media for the companies, like, they're trying to appease to the millennials. Like, do you not think there's something up with that? Like, they're just trying for the marketing, but or do they not even take it serious? Or do they just like, oh, we can get your dollar? They're not saving. Because think about it, we're kind of fucked. We're not going to get Social Security. How are we going to save for our kids in the future? Unless we're making bank, we got to get properties on properties. Like, we're unless you already have generational wealth, where if your parents already had something. But a lot of black people, a lot of Mexican people, they don't have shit. So we're fucked. So that's why I advocate we have to go out here and make some change in this bitch. This is like, I really hope people understand what I'm even talking about. But I haven't looking at my topics this time because my mind's everywhere. And this is what, day 3 of my fast. So hanging in there, feeling a little tight, But I think the last topic I want to talk about is just struggling to love oneself. That I think a lot of things come from people are struggling to love themselves. Like people, that's why I think social media, I said it's a good and bad thing because I think social media makes you have, validation, but it makes you think that the likes means you're likable. Like literally, like I don't like myself, but if I get likes, people like me. But no, they just like what you said. They don't necessarily like who the person is behind that screen, So we struggle with loving ourselves. Even like we might push people away. We feel isolated, and I don't know where it stems from. I honestly don't. I think I don't want to blame it on social media because I think that's just a lame thing. I think it stems from everything. Like I said in the last video, I think knowing that everything is fucked. Because that's what I'm saying with this defeatist mentality. They tell you everything is fucked. Listen to the beginning of the video again after hearing this part. They tell you everything is fucked. There's no way you can do anything except voting your way out of it. That's not how it's going to happen. We have to make change. You have to... The reason why no one loves themselves is because they think they're not doing anything important with their lives. They feel like they're just existing. We're all just existing. And they're like, fuck, I'm just existing. I'm just doing nothing, a day-to-day task. Like, this is terrible. This is all that life is. And it's, that could be all life is for you if you don't do anything. You own your own life. This is your movie. Nobody can write your life for you. Nobody can do that. Your story is incredible. So you have to take your life by your hands. If you want to go do something crazy, who gives a fuck? Go do something crazy. We only have one life to live, literally. Unless, you believe in reincarnation, you come back because you fucked up anyway. So think about that. If you believe in reincarnation, you fucked up. So now you're coming back here to fix what you fucked up. But get this, you don't even know what you fucked up because you fucked up that bad. Think about that. Now, that's all I'm saying is that I just wish we could come together. Stop ingesting in things that make you feel a certain way too. We ingest things that make us feel a certain way to keep us in a certain mind state. That's all everything is keep us in the same mind state. Elevate ourselves. Let's be better. Let's work towards something together. And I guarantee we can make some change happen. So, that's this episode. I hope you really understand what I'm talking about. This was some real shit. Could have rambled a little bit, but, I get angry about this shit. This political shit makes me so angry because it just stops us from wanting to do anything. You really think going out to vote is going to, with a system that involves money. Sorry, my nose is super clogged. But involves money, and you don't have any money. Sorry, I'm yelling, but you're broke. You are broke. And you telling me you can compete? Nose is running and shit. I'm getting so angry. I'm not even gonna edit that shit. That's pure passion right there. Talking about you gonna compete with somebody with money. What are you talking about? If you don't get out in these streets, your life is valuable. They keep telling you you're not valuable, but get this, you are so valuable, it's insane. They wouldn't do everything in their power to tell you you're not valuable unless you were. That's everything in life, is to tell you how you're a piece of shit. But if you were a piece of shit, why would they have to keep telling you? Unless to change your mindset to make you think that way. Alright? I hope you digest what I say. I think people need to rewatch my videos. Fucking dissect some shit I'm saying or something. I don't know. Because you gotta read between the lines of what I'm trying to say too. I'm not just gonna spoon feed it. You know what I mean? Go do something. You know what I mean? Go do something. Alright? I love you guys. I hope you appreciate me. I hope I appreciate you. Because I don't know anymore. Y'all be acting sus. Alright?